Do you find yourself stuck at your 9 to 5 job, daydreaming about starting a business of your own? If you are ready to learn how to pivot from employee to entrepreneur, you are in the right place, my friend. Welcome to How to Quit Your Job and Start a Business, a limited edition podcast series designed just for you. I'm your host, Shannon Russell, career transition coach, entrepreneur, and your business bestie, guiding you on your journey from the corporate world to being the CEO of your own life. Each episode in this series will walk you through how to make this career transition in a way that doesn't disrupt your life and cause chaos at home. I'll walk you through the tested strategies I use with my clients so that you can move from where you are to where you want to be. Head over to secondactsuccess.co/listen to grab my Starting a Successful Business workbook. It's a perfect tool to guide you through this limited series podcast. Hit subscribe, pop in your earbuds, and let's hang out. Ready? Let's get to it. Welcome back to How to Quit Your Job and Start a Business, a limited edition podcast series designed just for you. I am Shannon Russell, your host and career transition coach. I am loving this series so far, and I hope you are too. If you have not already subscribed, please do so, and be sure to share this episode with a woman in your life who might need this advice as well. In this episode, we are going to dive into how to plan an effective exit strategy from your corporate job. That is the big question, right? You know you want to transition from your corporate life to being an entrepreneur, but how do you do it without burning a bridge? Having a well thought out plan can make your transition smoother and set you up for success in your next venture. Deciding to leave your corporate job to start your own business is a big step, and having a solid exit strategy is really, really crucial. I'm about to walk you through the essential steps you will need to ensure your transition is as seamless as possible. Planning your exit strategy is something that I talk with my clients a lot about. It's all about looking ahead, not just walking into your boss's office, throwing papers down and yelling, "I quit." Everyone wants to be able to just give their 2 weeks notice and move on to the next thing. But you want to do it in a more strategic way so that you feel confident leaving and you feel confident about where you're going. First, I want to dive into why planning an exit strategy from your current job is so crucial. Having an exit strategy, having a plan, just gives you that confidence. It's just like anything. Building furniture, you need those set of directions in front of you when you get that box from IKEA. Or baking a cake, you need to have the ingredients, you need to have the steps, you need to know what temperature your oven is. So all of that goes into the planning for what it is you're creating. Without a plan, it can all lead to stress and financial instability. While you're working, you are earning that paycheck. And while you're working, you can also start planning and building your business. Little by little, there's so much you can do right now while you're working your 9 to 5. You are planning it out, you are earning money, and you are starting to get a lot of the beginner business stuff out of the way while you're in a safe space in your current job. Now is when you can really be creative about your schedule. Maybe in the morning when you're sitting down with your tea or your coffee and you're getting things started, you can spend 15 or 30 minutes working on your business. Maybe over your lunch break, you can work on the business. You are finding ways throughout your day to work on what it is that you want to be doing next while still earning that paycheck. Think about it. You want to have this plan in place so that you can feel confident leaving your job for this next venture. You want to make sure that everything in this transition is going to run smoothly and successfully. This is why we need to know how to exit our job and how to prepare for the next step. Setting a timeline. This is the first step in planning your exit strategy because you want a realistic timeline so that you know when you are going to give your notice and when you are going to start that business 100% full-time. This is where you have to determine when you want to leave your current job and how much time you will need to prepare. So consider a couple of factors. First is that financial readiness. How much savings do you have to cover any personal and business expenses? We've talked about this a little bit more at length in previous episodes. The business preparation. How long will it take you to set up your business? There's a lot of aspects to setting up the business. You have to do your legalities, setting up what type of business you're going to form, the actual formation of the business entity. Then there's your branding, your initial marketing, setting up the website, your social media, hiring people, whatever it is to really get those bones of your business set up and ready. You also want to consider your notice period. How much notice do you want to give to your employer according to your contract or the policies that the company might have? And what will you have to do to prepare yourself to leave? I urge you to sit, take some time, go through those different areas of really getting yourself prepared, and then creating that timeline of what feels comfortable to you so that you can stay organized and focus on your goals. And it'll allow you to really make this a smooth transition, especially one where you do not burn bridges with your current employer and your coworkers. Look at all of this information and then look at your calendar and say, okay, I think if I wait 3 months, I can save X amount of money. I'll have a little bit more built out with my business, and I think I'll be ready to go. Then you can really pinpoint that date on the calendar and say, okay, in 3 months, I'm going to type up my letter of resignation. I'm going to schedule a meeting with my boss, and I'm going to give my 2 weeks notice. And if that time looks great for you and you feel confident with the research and the business building that you've already done, you feel safe with the amount of money that you've saved, then that is your date. Pinpoint that date, schedule it in the calendar, and my friend, you have successfully created your exit strategy. If you can really plan it out, build an exit strategy that you feel comfortable and supported with, then you will be in a much better position. Next, financial planning. This is an aspect that you have to consider when making your exit strategy. We've talked about this in other episodes, but having that detailed financial plan needs to include your savings, aiming to save enough for at least 6 to 12 months for your personal and business expenses. So that will give you a little buffer to make sure that you can take your time planning the business, ramping it up before you'll actually get it off the ground. You also want to look at the budget that you will be creating for both your personal life, so you can live, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, and then the budget you need for your business. How much will it take you to get this business off the ground? Once you figure out all of this, you can create a budget. Then you will be clear on your monthly expenses so that you can help manage that cash flow a little easier. And then there's the emergency fund. Yes, we all know we should have an emergency fund ready to go, and not all of us do. So try to set aside an emergency fund for any unexpected expenses that you might encounter between now and when that business actually starts making money. It might be stressful now, but it will save you on financial stress down the road. This financial planning, when we plan our exit strategy, will really give us that peace of mind and that extra bit of confidence to know that we can focus on building the business without worrying about immediate financial pressures. Once you feel that you have your plan, your timeline, and your finances in place and ready to go, then you can start actually taking those steps to plan the exit strategy. You want to decide when it's time to leave your job. So it's important, of course, to do so very professionally. Never burn a bridge because you never know if those coworkers, that employer, that company will be there to support you down the road. Maybe they'll actually become a client, or you'll have people that can refer business to you. So never burn a bridge. You never know what can happen. And those people will be supporters of you on LinkedIn and in your social circles. You want to leave with as much dignity as you can. So consider these couple of steps to really give yourself a smooth transition as you tell your employer that you will be leaving. Give proper notice. You want to find out what your company's policies are on giving notice. Is it 2 weeks? Is it longer? Do you need to do a transition plan for the person taking over your role? This will show respect to your employer and your coworkers if you have it planned out thoughtfully. Then you want to make sure that as you're gearing up to give your notice, that you're finishing up on any ongoing projects. You want to tie up all the loose ends. You want to ensure that you're handing over your role to your successor already tied up with a bow. You're not leaving people hanging or leaving your coworkers to pick up the slack. I suggest giving notice by scheduling a meeting with your immediate supervisor, letting them know. Also, make sure you have a printed letter with your signature ready to hand them during this meeting. You can also follow up with an email resignation letter as well to your supervisor and anyone else you feel is necessary. Once you agree upon a date, then you complete your projects, and then you make sure the most important thing is expressing your gratitude. Thank your employer, your colleagues for the opportunity, the experiences. Let them know that you've learned so much, but you want to venture into entrepreneurship for yourself. It's a learning and growing experience that you need for yourself, but you're going to take everything that you've learned at this role with you. Make sure to maintain those positive relationships because you really never know when your paths might cross again. So leave on good terms. That is super, super crucial. If you think about it, it's your professional reputation. And just because you're leaving the working world, you are still taking that reputation with you as a business owner. When it comes time to networking about your business and telling people your career story, hey, I used to work here and here and here. I did this for X number of years. That is all still part of you. You're just transitioning into a new role as an entrepreneur. So you want to make sure that you give gratitude to your past, and it will all kind of come through like karma into your future. Okay, so this one was short and sweet. Plan a strategic exit from your job because it is all about being thoughtful and prepared. So set that timeline, make sure your finances are all set, and then walk through the steps that your company dictates so that you can give proper notice, leave your position and your team in a prepared way, and really transition smoothly. You'll set yourself up for success, and this will be a great learning experience as you start the road to entrepreneurship. One last thing I really want to talk about, because it's easy to plan out all of the administrative stuff, right? The behind the scenes building of the business, the writing your resignation letter, scheduling it in the calendar, looking at the schedule and kind of planning the perfect time. But you also want to take into account your emotions during this time. Transitioning from one career path to another is emotional. And if you're planning on leaving a job that you've been at for 10, 20 years, even 1 year, you have gotten attached. There is a routine in working at the same place for a long period of time. There are relationships that are formed, maybe your clients, your customers, but also with your coworkers. So you want to be really mindful of how this transition will affect you emotionally, mentally, physically as well. It's normal to feel the fear and the anxiety and the stress and uncertainty of what's to come. That's completely normal. But you want to stay motivated by the fact that you are focused on your goals and you know what you're working towards, and you want to feel that confidence and remind yourself of that each and every day. That should be your first focus. When I decided to leave my career and try to figure out what I was going to do, I floundered. I tried a bunch of things that just didn't fit. But when I realized that I wanted to create my own business, that is where the fire fueled me. That is where I felt excited and I wanted to learn more. And I began researching and diving into this idea that I had. The more I learned about the business and started building things up, the more excited I was. And it drove me. And I was looking towards that end goal. And I stopped feeling the sadness or the separation or the loss of identity or the imposter syndrome or the worry about what other people are thinking because I left this job and now I'm trying something completely different. I think when you finally have that light bulb moment and you know what you're working towards, all of those other fears, those emotions kind of fall to the wayside because you're focused on your end goal. So I want you to just manage your expectations of how you might feel during that transition, but know that you're going to come out of it on the other side so enthusiastic and excited and passionate about what it is that you're building and what you're building for yourself. All right, we have discussed how you can make an exit plan, how you can leave your 9 to 5 in a really confident way to set you up for second act success. Remember, this journey that you are about to embark on is about creating a life that aligns with you. It's about building a new career for yourself that is going to incorporate all of your passions and your experience and your skills and everything you've accomplished in your past to build a new goal for yourself. You are building a business that is truly yours. Now, in our next episode of How to Quit Your Job and Start a Business, we're going to talk about Ready, Set, Countdown. We're going to really plan out the coming months so that you can have everything prepared to really launch this business with a boom. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the series. Make sure you go back to the beginning and listen to all of the episodes to help you as you pivot, and share it with a friend. If there's another woman who is thinking about venturing into a business, share this episode with her. I truly appreciate it. Until next time, I am Shannon Russell, your career coach. Keep dreaming big and take bold steps towards your future. I'll see you next time. Do you ever feel like you need a little support as you plan your next career move? Then I invite you to join the Career Clarity Collective. It's a monthly membership, and inside you will receive access to a community of like-minded women. You will also take part in group coaching calls, plus you'll get access to masterclasses and resources with new ones added every month. Join us for the tools you need, the guidance you deserve, and accountability to take action so that you can make your second act a success. Head over to secondactsuccess.co/membership to enroll. I can't wait to see you inside the Career Clarity Collective.